That's a good question. There are several cases, not just with Astroworld, where someone can make an incredible work, and the impact that work had is not reliant on the artist's expression or how they exist or what they mean by it in a lot of cases. An example of that is, I think Rosemary's Baby is one of the scariest and best horror films of all time. Just like the way it's shot and the tension, everything's great. But the director, Roman Polanski, is still hiding in Europe because he's facing child endangerment charges, or essentially pedophilia charges. There were so many people who were inspired by Rosemary's Baby to go forward. I think, I may be wrong here, but I think James Wan said that was the movie that got him into horror. So is it because Roman Polanski's a bad guy, James Wan has illegitimate reasons to be a director? Or perhaps someone can make something greater than themselves, or in the case of Polanski, in spite of themselves? I think a lot of the I'm on the conspiracy theorist side of the internet, and there's a ton of people who just had a field day with that Astroworld stuff, and it was like malarkey. Everyone wants the bad guy, the conspiracy bad guy, to just be like a big devil horns and very obvious that it's an evil situation, but that's never how it goes. Yeah. But the majority of what happened there was negligence and just stupidity on the part of himself and the others around it. And the reason that I put the Travis Scott vinyl in the background for pretty much the entire beginning of my YouTube videos is whenever that album came out, I was in high school, and my friend and I were really big fans of like rap and hip hop and all that. And the night it came out, he came over to my house, and we did the works. We set up a stereo system. We had like LED lights hooked up to it and everything. We're gonna listen to this album from start to finish. And that was one of the coolest music experiences I ever had, of just listening to the music and going through it. So as James, obviously I'm not James Wan or anything. If he was not illegitimized by what Roman Polanski did, then I am not illegitimized by what Travis Scott did. That album is still an experience I had and an experience I shared with a friend, and that's the reason that was up there. Not because I think Travis Scott's a swell guy. So I think the album still stands and the music still stands, in spite if he's a dumb guy, essentially.
Okay, interesting way to put it. I've never really heard it quite like that. Perfect. That's a great fucking answer.
Thank you.
This was a two-parter, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right,
Music
cool.
made me think of something else as well. Your girlfriend Kayla used to be a really big Lil Dicky fan, but with his TV show Dave, that seemed to very much delay an album. And at this point, it's been nearly 7 years since he has dropped another album. In my world, that makes me think of a YouTuber who moves to more traditional media, abandoning their channel for the most part, right? What do you think about the YouTubers who have taken that path, and is that something you might be interested in?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. You spun a yarn on that one. I like that. There's a difference between stepping into new avenues and abandoning your fans, or abandoning the people who got you to that point. An example of how not to do it, in my opinion, is like you're saying with Lil Dicky, where he's making